Let me ask you something. What's the one thing that holds you up when everything else seems to be falling apart? Today, we're diving into a really personal story that answers that very question. And it all comes down to one simple but incredibly powerful word: family. And really, this one sentence says it all, doesn't it? It's the whole heart of the story we're about to unpack. I mean, it's a huge claim to say family is your foundation through everything. So we're going to see exactly how that foundation was built, how it got tested, and I mean really tested, and how in the end it proved to be unshakable. So where do you even start with something like that? I mean, a foundation that strong doesn't just appear out of nowhere, right? To really get a feel for how solid this one was, we've got to go back, way back to the beginning, and see how those first crucial pieces were put into place.
And that journey starts right here, with a look back at childhood. We're talking about those really early formative years. You know, the kinds of moments that might not seem like a big deal when they're happening, but they're actually the glue, the very beginning of the bonds that become so important later on.
Okay, so this timeline gives us a quick snapshot, kind of like a bird's eye view of the whole journey. You can see it starts with a childhood that felt just perfect. Then you hit high school, and that's when you start learning to tackle problems together as a family. And then college. Well, that brings a whole new set of challenges. Faith, personal struggles, the whole 9 yards. So now let's zoom in a little closer on that first part and see what made that early childhood feel so perfect.
And you know, what really strikes me about these memories is just how simple they are. This isn't about big, expensive vacations or anything. It's the little things, right? Dad bringing home burgers and a soda, getting a new Batman toy, even just your dad making sure you take your gummy vitamins because he cares. These are those small, happy, everyday moments that, brick by brick, build that solid foundation we've been talking about.
But here's the thing about any foundation. You don't really know how strong it is until it has to hold something up, right? Until it has to bear some real weight. And as life moved on, that seemingly perfect childhood started to face some pressure. This time, though, the test wasn't coming from the outside world. It was internal. The struggles that come with growing up, finding yourself, and searching for meaning.
Wow, and this slide just perfectly captures that internal shift. I mean, look at the difference here. Early on in college, the reason for going to church? Hey, we get to eat afterward. It's almost transactional. But then, fast forward to fourth year, something's happened. Heartbreak is hit, and all of a sudden, faith isn't about the food anymore. It's a real, genuine connection, something shared with his mom, and that bond between them gets even deeper. And this is such a crucial point. Before the absolute biggest storm hit, this family foundation had already gone through a pretty serious stress test. When depression became a reality, they didn't just pat him on the back and say, "You'll be okay." No, the text says they carried him. That's a huge deal. It proved that this support system wasn't just talk, it was real, it was reliable, and that's going to be so important for what's coming next.
Okay, so now the story takes a turn. A really sudden, devastating turn. That foundation we've just spent all this time watching get built, it's about to face a seismic shock, an earthquake.
December 25th, 2019, Christmas Day. A date that should be about joy, right? But for this family, it would be redefined by loss forever. And then, at midnight, the unimaginable happens. His mom dies of a heart attack. And the feeling described here, it's not just sadness. It's the feeling of your entire life being shattered, just destroyed. And in that moment, what's the first impulse? To give up, to go back to old, destructive habits, just to let the pain take over. It's just a moment of pure, absolute despair.
And then, as if that personal tragedy wasn't already more than enough to handle, a global one hits. The year 2020 arrives, and with it comes the pandemic. And in this really strange, almost unbelievable twist, this worldwide crisis would actually become a weird kind of catalyst, a way to find a new perspective on his own personal loss. And that's such a profound insight, isn't it? When you're surrounded by so much loss on a global scale, it forces a different kind of perspective. A powerful reminder emerged to value your own life. This huge global tragedy gave him the context he needed to start processing his own personal one. It didn't make the pain go away, not at all, but it gave him a reason to start fighting through it.
So how do you even begin to come back from something like that, from feeling like your life has been destroyed? Well, the answer in this story is you don't start from scratch. You rebuild on the foundation that you already have. And this last part of our story, it's all about what that resilience looks like in action.
And this is the roadmap. This is how the rebuilding started. And look, these aren't just vague ideas. These are real, conscious choices. Number 1, making the choice to value your own life. 2,
actively fighting back against those negative thoughts. 3, and this is a big one, actually accepting the support from your family that's being offered. And finally, taking that really brave step to reconnect with people, to let yourself laugh again.
And I mean, just look at the transformation right here. The then versus the now. It's so powerful. The feeling of wanting to give up, to just go drink beer and numb the pain, that's been replaced by something so simple and so beautiful, drinking coffee and laughing with friends. It's not about going back to the way things were before. It's about building a new reality, one that's based on connection and a very conscious choice to keep living.
And that really brings us full circle. This whole story is just a powerful testament to one person's source of strength, to their foundation. But it leaves all of us with a really important question to think about. We all face challenges in life. It's inevitable. So when those moments come, what's your foundation? What's the thing that holds you up?